In the age of communication, many people use satellite dish. Making a satellite dish requires curved plates, and this makes it difficult. In this video, for the first time, a simple way to make a satellite dish with any dimensions you like is discussed. This method is only specific to the fixed focus channel. In this method, there is no need to make a special mold or tool. If you decide to build this satellite dish, be sure to watch the video carefully. Write any questions in the comments, and thank you for liking and subscribing. Sincerely, Ebrahim Hashemi. Hello to all of you dear ones, welcome to Fixed Focus program. I'm Ebrahim Hashemi, and this is another show on Fixed Focus channel. In one of the previous videos, it was discussed how to make a satellite dish, the address of which you can see at the top of the page. This video was well received, and today I want to build a type of satellite dish that is much easier to implement. No mold is needed to make this satellite dish, and you can easily make it. The accuracy of this satellite dish will be very good if you are careful in making it. This dish can be used both as a solar dish and as a satellite dish. You will not find this example of a satellite dish anywhere else, and it is specific to the fixed focus channel and is presented for the first time. Therefore, if you need to present the design of this satellite dish somewhere, please name its source. Also, if you are planning to build this satellite dish, be sure to watch the entire video carefully so that you don't have any problems in practice. To make this dish, we need mirror metal sheets, like the samples that I have prepared. These sheets can be very thin steel mirror sheets, and any small piece of sheet can be suitable for our work. This one still has a coating, and you can see it is like a mirror. We need to cut these pieces to size 2 cm x 2 cm. So I mark 2 cm on these steel sheets and then cut them lengthwise with the machine. And after longitudinal cutting, they can be cut easily with an iron cutting scissors. You have seen how these shiny steel sheets were cut lengthwise with the machine. Of course, it is also possible to cut them transversely with the same machine, but the cost of cutting will be high. Now with an iron cutting scissors we can make them into full 2 cm pieces. Try not to bend in the small steel sheets. Of course, you should know that cutting steel sheets is more difficult than normal iron sheets. So your scissors must be very sharp. Actually, the satellite dish that we want to make is a flat satellite dish. So we need a flat screen. I prepared this MDF sheet for this purpose. You can choose any page, of course, on the condition that it does not bend and remains completely flat. And this means that it does not have an elastic state and is resistant to bending. Also, it is resistant to sun and rain. Well, what is the basis of the work? In fact, we want to glue the cut steel sheets on this plate in a certain order. How should we do this? We know that the satellites are at a great distance from us, so their waves can be considered parallel. Therefore, these waves hit this piece of steel sheet and its reflection is transmitted to the LNB. I have put an LNB on a base made of flat bar. You can see its shape. I need to install it here at the bottom of the middle of the screen. Now the satellite waves hit this small steel plate from above and its reflection will reach the LNB opening. All these cut pieces of steel should be placed on this plate in the same way. It should be noted that the surface of the required steel sheet should be the same as the surface of the dish. It means that all small pieces of 2 cm steel should cover the entire plate of the dish. Now we can adjust the small steel sheets on the screen by 2 methods. The first method is to use a common laser available in the market, which is also cheap. You can see its light in the camera and take care of your eyes while working. The optical radius of this laser is actually instead of the electromagnetic wave radius of the satellite, and its reflection can hit the LNB. In fact, the beam of laser radiation must be perpendicular to the surface of our satellite dish. For example, if I place this laser perpendicular to the screen like this, I can transfer its reflection to the camera by moving the piece of steel sheet. Of course, another method can be done, and the second method will be a very difficult task. And that he placed the plate of the dish vertically in front of the sunlight. And at the same time, he placed the mirrors, and of course, here instead of LNB, we use an equivalent and fireproof surface. And glue the parts, and here comes a problem. When you glue the first pieces, the sun will move and the next pieces will not be in the correct position. Therefore, the focus of the satellite dish is not formed in the correct place. And the first rows of sheets that we glue, the sun has moved, and therefore the focus of the second, third, or last rows together do not form a focal point. But in the first method, because the laser is fixed, it is easy to adjust the parts. You may have asked yourself a question: why don't we use solar dishes with glass mirrors as satellite dishes? Now I have 2 pieces of mirror glass, one with a tinted coating protective backing and the other without tinted coating. Now if I put a flashlight behind an uncoated mirror, you can see that the light passes through all the parts, which means that the metal coating behind the mirrors is not a complete coating. Therefore, mirrors cannot be used to reflect satellite waves. And the reflection of the electromagnetic waves of the satellite, which is caused by the glass mirror, will be very weak. Of course, if we stick a thin adhesive aluminum strip behind the mirrors, this problem will be solved to a large extent. Now let's go to the installation of this base, as well as circular markings on the desired surface for proper placement of these small parts. Now I have fixed this LNB base temporarily with a wood screw. And the reason is that we must not have any protrusions under the surface of the MDF board because we need it to be completely smooth. And after we are done, I tighten it with a strong nut bolt. To install small mirror metal parts, we need to draw a suitable number of chords on the surface, the center of which should be the location of the LNB opening, but the LNB line is not on the surface of the dish. So I have prepared a piece of board that has 2 holes at the distance of the LNB opening from its base hole. So first I have to open the LNB again. The extension of the board should be perpendicular to the edge of the surface of our dish. I use a marker to draw circles. For this, I use a thread. We must use a thread that does not have elasticity. Now I pass the thread through the second hole of the wood, which is the center of the circle. It is better to place the distance of the circles at 3 centimeters so that the small pieces of metal sheets can be installed easily. It should be noted that the metal mirrors that are placed near the LNB are not very effective because they have an oblique reflection. Therefore, we do not install them up to a distance of 15 centimeters from the LNB. Well, let's go to mark and draw circles. Well, our drawing is done. And all the pieces are placed on these circles easily. I install the LNB base again. Try to keep it exactly along the plate. Now it's time to install the laser. We need the laser beam to shine from above onto the screen. The laser beam must be perpendicular to our work plane. And we can't hang it and say it's perpendicular because the center of gravity of the laser doesn't allow it to be perpendicular. So I use a thin iron wire. I twisted the 2 ends of this soft iron wire into a spiral with a screwdriver and it easily supports the weight of the laser. I connect one side of it with a small screw and nut to the hole at the end of the laser. I connect the other side to the ceiling with a suitable screw. I put a piece of cardboard that I have drilled into the laser head, and this makes it easier to align the laser. In addition, you can use a clothespin to turn on the laser. Now I screw the laser to the ceiling. The higher the height of the laser, the more accurate it is, but it will be more difficult to work with it. Now I will put the cardboard on it. Now I put the clothespin, and you can see that the laser turned on. Before we put the mirror to make the plate vertical, the plate of our dish must be perfectly level. We have to place the level in different parts of the screen, and if the surface is not level, our satellite dish will not work well. Now we place a mirror under the laser beam. You can see where the reflection of the mirror is located on the ceiling. And it is easy to transfer the reflection of light to the laser light source by changing the state of the iron wire. Now the laser beam is perpendicular to the plane of our dish. And if I bring the camera closer, you will see that the reflection is on the laser exit opening. Now that the laser is perpendicular to the screen, we can start our work. We place small pieces of mirror steel on the circles, and their reflection should be placed on the opening of the LNB like this mirror. For ease of use, I put a piece of cardboard around the LNB. For now, I am gluing the pieces together with a glue gun, and then I glue it again with silicone glue. Now I turn the screen and check with this mirror to see if the ray of radiation is still perpendicular or not. And I have to place the mirror at a certain angle to reflect on the LNB hole. Try to place the pieces on the circular lines. If you live in an area where mirrored metal sheets are not available, you can use any type of regular metal sheet. For this, just get a piece of glossy sheet or mirror and put it on the piece of regular sheet. And put it on the line, and after adjusting, stick it under it with glue. And then remove the mirror sheet. And continue the work in the same way. I will stick another one again. And now we will remove that sheet. Now I will start working with the mirror sheet piece and increase the video speed. In the end, for guidance for those who want to build this satellite dish. For easy gluing of parts, we first glue one edge and place it on the screen and adjust it, and then fix it with a support. I have used an iron nut for the support so that the glue cools. Meanwhile, I glue the other piece and adjust it and remove the support and place it under this piece. And I will continue to work like this. From time to time, place a mirror on the screen under the laser beam and make sure it is vertical. Now the work of gluing the parts is finished, and first we try it in front of the sun. To prevent the heat from reaching the LNB, I stick a piece of cardboard on it. Later, I will remove the adhesives from it. I draw the front circle of the LNB on the cardboard. Let's go in front of the sun, but the weather is partly cloudy. Well, you see the satellite dish screen. Now I place the screen perpendicular to the sun. You can see that most of the reflections are on the LNB, and I shouldn't put it in this position too much to damage the LNB. The reflection of the satellite waves will be the same. Now I fasten the LNB base to the screen with bolts. I use silicone glue for the strength of the parts on the screen. I inject this glue from the back of the mirror pieces. We cannot use a satellite dish with these mirrors because it is possible that the focus of the sun's rays will burn out the LNB. Therefore, we have several ways: or use spray paint, or put a light cloth on it, or put a protector on it. If you want to use the dish only as a satellite dish and you do not need a solar dish, it is better to use a white spray paint. I use a cover over it. Now the silicone adhesives are dry. I welded 2 screws to 2 metal corners, and I have screwed them to the MDF board from below. And it can easily move and rotate. I will bring the base that will be placed below. I made this base, and because the filming time was too long, I didn't film them. 2 screws under the satellite dish are connected to these 2 holes. I have used a plastic cardboard to cover it. I have bent both sides of it to the right size. It should be noted that you should not choose the material of the MDF board because it is both heavy and vulnerable to rain. Unless you give it a proper cover. Now I staple both sides of the cover to the MDF board. You see two wing nuts. I close the two sides of it. You can see that the satellite dish can be placed in any position. And if I tighten the wing nuts, it won't move anymore. Now it's time to test the satellite dish. I connect one side of the satellite finder to the LNB. Of course, first I will put the LNB direction in the correct direction. Now I turn the satellite finder potentiometer. You can see how easy it is to adjust, and I tighten the nuts. You can also put weights on the bases so that the wind does not change the state of the dish. The working system of this satellite dish is very simple, and it can be used as a flat satellite dish. To increase the power of your satellite dish, you can use larger dish. At the same time, choose a more suitable cover that will not be damaged by sunlight. You can remove the cover and LMB and use it as a solar dish. I think the duration of this video has become too long. Hope to see you until the next program. You can also see other videos on the Fixed Focus channel.